All right. So let's get going, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second session of DELA 2020. This evening, we're going to be introducing our district staff officers, but I have a few brief comments before we get started. I was going to introduce our aide, administrative aide, Mary Jo Alex, but I don't see her on here either, and she was supposed to be here as well. So we will introduce Mary Jo at the next session next week. Just a couple other notes here. We have decided to do away with the district staff appointment letters that we've used for many, many years, and instead use certificates of appointment, which will be suitable for framing if the member chooses. They're going to be, they're nice certificates. I made some phone calls to my peers, the other incoming district commodores. The first three that responded to my email all said they have gravitated to the certificates rather than the letters. Everybody seems to like that. So I copied one from, I think, Division or District 9. Looks really good. Rick Giebel has got a copy of that, and he will show you that a little later on this evening. I think you'll like that. We will also be sending out the job descriptions for all the DSOs and ADSOs. And the template that we use is available if anybody wants to use that for division staff officers or flotilla staff officers. We'll have our third session of the 2020 DELA next Sunday, the 18th. Our guest speakers for that one will be DSO Legal Commodore Mike Johnson and our DIROCS representative, Leslie Pelosi. And at that time, we will also be introducing a few more staff officers, DSO Finance, DSO Secretary of Records, DSO EM, Emergency Management, and DSO Legal. We have a new legal officer coming in for next year. So we will make those introductions next week. The fourth DELA that we tentatively have scheduled for the 25th, we're going to postpone that one until after the first of the year. So you can take October 25th off your calendars. We're thinking about maybe having DSO IS, Chris Mather, doing an IS class specifically designed for elected leaders. This is not I didn't really want to put any more on Chris's plate right now. He's really busy. We're way behind with submissions. So we'll hold off on that until after the first of the year. So we expect Chris to be putting something together for us then. And we may also be hearing from our DSO, HR, and member training. More on that to come later. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Chief of Staff, Rick Giebel, to make introductions of his staff. Rick?
Thank you, Charlie. Like Charlie said, we're gonna introduce our district staff officers tonight. I have a PowerPoint that I'll go through later when we're done with that. So what I'd like to start out first is to introduce the DDCs in the areas of response, logistics, and prevention. And I'm going to start out with the DDC response, and that is Mr. Chris Milano. Chris, if you could take a few minutes to introduce each one of your staff officers, and you can either have them or you can talk a little bit about them. Just give us a little history of each person. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rick. First, good evening. My name is Chris Milano. I was currently still the district captain of San Diego Inland, turning it over to Rodney. So a little bit first about myself, then I'll tell you each of my district staff officers. I'm a Jersey boy who grew up 70 yards from the Atlantic Ocean in Ventnor City, and have always had a love of water and boating. I started sailing on a sunfish at the age of 9 and fishing on my friend's family 55-foot Viking. After college, I bought my first boat, an 18-foot tri-hull Larson, and worked my way up to a 33-foot Sea Ray Sundancer and Express Cruiser. I now live in Henderson, Nevada, and looking forward to purchasing a new boat or jet skis that I can once again get back on the water. To ensure I was proficient in all aspects of boating, I took a BS&S class and fell in love with the auxiliary. I was the fish that swallowed the bait, hook, line, and sinker. In July, I celebrated 30 years anniversary with the auxiliary, and I had the honor to patrol on multiple bodies of water such as the Atlantic Ocean, Delaware River, Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Michigan, and Ohio River. My most memorable and rewarding days were spent as a VFC, flotilla commander, vice division commander, DCAP, and multiple staff officer positions in the flotilla and division levels, as well as ADSO MT. I continually bring my business acumen as a transformational, goal-oriented senior IT manager with a demonstrated track record of achievement in program, product, and project management to the auxiliary by providing proven aptitude in using strong communication, organizational, adaptive leadership skills to motivate teams to achieve auxiliary missions. My leadership and training philosophy is simple: have fun while holding individuals accountable for their deliverables. And I believe that when people are engaged in an enjoyable environment, they will increase their loyalty and commitment to the auxiliary, learn more, retain more, and ultimately achieve more. So that's just a quick little bio of myself. And I have 3 different positions under response. First is the DSO operations, which is Tom Pelosi. Tom originally was from Hampton Bay, New York. He grew up around boats. From the time he was about 3, he was going out on his dad's fishing boat. And at age 12, he bought his first boat, which he towed behind his bicycle. He must have been a really strong peddler, I'll tell you, because I don't know how you pull a boat on a bike. He is also fortunate to be in the right place at the right time to test ride these new things called jet skis in their very early development stages. Jump forward several years, and he spent about 10 years as electronics technician aboard our nuclear submarines, as well as surface ships and shore duty in the United States Navy. He joined the auxiliary about 17 years ago and has been involved in surface operations, quickly qualifying as boat crew, then coxswain. Also qualified as a personal watercraft operator and aids to navigation verifier and nav systems PQS qualifying officer. He has been a qualification examiner for the past 6 or so years and has been involved in the deployment of online risk management refresher and has done an outstanding job with that. He has held multiple elected and appointed positions from BFC, FC, Vice Division Commander, DCAP, and multiple FSO and SO positions to ADSO Ops, DSO Ops, DSO PV, DDC Logistics, DDC Prevention, and Commodore's Aid. He lives in Simi Valley, California with his wife, a few pets, and often kids and grandkids. He looks forward to another year as DSO OP, and we are absolutely honored and privileged to have Tom as our DSO Ops. There isn't an individual more qualified and more dedicated than Tom, and we really look forward to working with all of the SO and FSO operations officers throughout the 2021 year. We also have David Powell. David Powell is our DSO of aviation. David has been actively involved in the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary since 2013. He became a boat crew certified and currently maintains his boat crew qualification. He worked closely with Michael Bosworth, increased and improved operations, and has promoted a better relationship with the active duty through his tenure as division commander for Divisions 5 and the facilitating interagency meetings and desktop exercises held in the Channel Islands. He is actively working as a planning sector chief for an incident command port in search and rescue, and as a private pilot with 248 PIC of flight time. He is working on his instrument rating now and rolling right into commercial rating and instructor rating. He will also be converting his personal aircraft into a facility. He is looking forward to working with all of you as we build the AUX Air program. David and I have committed to literally come up with a project charter and project plan that we can present to our DCOS and DCO by the end of November, that we will then be able to distribute that and communicate it to all the DCAPs and then through the chain of leadership. Our goal is to really show that the air operations is very practical and viable solution for the auxiliary, and we really want to take it to the next level. The last position that I have is the DSO communication. I'm currently reviewing candidates to fill the DSO communication position and will fill the position in the near future to ensure the response leadership team is complete and ready to meet all missions in 2021. Rick, thank you very kindly, sir. Those are my 3 DSOs for operations, aviation, and TBD for communications.
Chris, thank you very much. Next up, our DDC for logistics, Randy Wesson. This will be his second year in a row. Randy? Randy, you're muted.
I think I got it.
Yep, you're
After
good.
punching the microphone 20 times. This is my probably third time serving as logistics DDC, and I enjoy it working with the DSOs. I've been in the Hawks for 12 years and 11 days, 11 and a half days. I've been started as an FSO PA. They just, have the new guy comes in and they just automatically grab them and say, this is your FSO position. From there, I went to flotilla commander. I've served as vice division commander, and various SO positions and FSO positions. I worked in national for, I was the division chief for vessel exams for a few years, and I'm doing this now. I've got a number of really great people working for me, for us. We've got the really exciting, the reason why people join the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We do diversity, member training, food service, communications services, HR, IS, materials, and publications. And I will introduce each one of them. I hope they're here tonight. First off, well, I know Chuck Hutchings isn't here tonight. He's the DSO for communication services. And Chris Mather isn't either. He's DSO IS. And Desiree DeLizer is DSO MA. I'll still talk about them though when I get to them. Norm Bundeck is HR, and Paul Saba is MT, and Cindy Hay is PB. Start off with Felix Lopez, who's for the DSO for diversity. Felix has been in the auxiliary for 15 years. For a good portion of those years, he has been involved in the auxiliary's diversity programs. He was a member of the diversity research group that started the Auxiliary Diversity and Inclusion Directorate, and a member of the Commandant's Leadership, Excellence, and Diversity Advisory Council, which is called the LEAD Council, representing the Auxiliary from 2008 through 2012 on that council. During his watch, the district earned a certificate of special recognition from the Diversity and Inclusion Directorate for achieving the highest percentage increase nationally of units receiving the NACO 3-star award of excellence in diversity. Got to switch pages here. He has served as FSO DV, SODV, DSO DV, and is an interpreter and TCO. He's been doing a great job. Next is Marlene Williams for food service. Marlene is a Coast Guard veteran. She joined the Ox in August of 2016. Her daughter is a CS. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's a culinary specialist in the Coast Guard. And Marlene joined the Ox FS program in the hopes that someday they might do some things together. And they have. They worked together on the food service for the state of the Coast Guard and the commissioning of a FRC at LA Long Beach while her daughter was home on leave. Marlene conducted food service on the icebreaker Healy for a 6-week trip to the Arctic. She is the VFC for her flotilla and is running for FC. The SOSR also for Division 1 and enjoys being the DSOFS. She is an Ox Hop. And she is she gets involved in everything and she always does a fantastic job. We're in the same flotilla together and you can't stop her. She sails most weekends on her boat with her husband, Eric, who is also an auxiliarist and a retired coastie. Next is Human Resources, Norm Bundick. You probably all know Norm, and it's all a facade. He isn't really like the way you know him, but I'm not going to talk about that. You can just go on thinking he's a good guy. Norm will be the DSO HR as well as a Commodore's aide this coming year. He joined in December 2005 and will celebrate his 15th year in the auxiliary in December. He is currently finishing his first year as District Directorate Chief for Prevention. He is in boat crew. He's a TCO, an instructor, and Coast Guard Station Watchstander qualified. Prior to that, he spent 2 years in each of the following elected offices: DCAP LA Long Beach for North, DCDR for 7, VCDR for 7, FC for Flotilla 7-4, and VFC for the same flotilla. He is currently ADSO NSLK, responsible for tours and contact for the Port of Hueneme and Lighthouse in the port. He's also been an ADSO CM. He has held SO offices in PA and CM, FSO offices for HR, MA, PE, SR, and CS. So he doesn't have much experience, but you all can help him when you see him. He completed leadership C schools, ALOC for district captains, AMLOC for division commanders, and OXLAMs A and B for flotilla commanders. Next is DSO IS, Chris Mather. Unfortunately, Chris couldn't attend tonight, but he did say that he has some info that he would like to have disseminated. He said that there is an upcoming District 11S level Ox 10V class for early November. So get in touch with him about that. His bio includes 4+ years in IS as FSO and SO and now DSO. He has served as a DIROC's assistant. He attended the only in-person Train the Trainer Ox Data 2 class in Virginia this past March. He conducted district-wide training and support for 82 since the transition in April. He will be hosting a district in-house Ox 10V course for IS and interested members this November. How did he get that ad slipped in there twice? A general comment on AD2, the vendor is running upgrades called sprints every 3 weeks. The platform is improving and evolving well. He's been in the Ox for 10 years. He's a coxswain, a VE, IT, and a TCO. Just zoomed off the page. I don't know where everything else just went. Oh, I know where I can find it. DSO MA Materials, Desiree DeLizer. She has been in the Ox for 10 years and held several positions, FSO PE, PA, MT, FN, IS, and FC. She was recruited into the Ox while taking a sailing skills class. As she was learning to sail, she was invited to crew on several transatlantic passages, Annapolis to Bermuda, Bahamas, BVI, Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos. Such an exciting time. Needless to say, she is boat crew qualified. Her focus as DSO MA is to grow the Ox thrift program, that's the district's used uniform program, make it more visible and accessible. Currently, there is no adequate storage space for all the great merchandise in inventory, so she is looking for a free retail space to display and store our uniforms and accessories. If you know of anyone who may be able to help out with that, please pass that on to her. DSO MT, Paul Saba. Paul has been in the auxiliary since he was a cadet at SUNY Maritime College, pursuing a commission in the Coast Guard in 1996. He served as a flotilla commander, flotilla division staff officer, branch chief, division chief, and now recently selected as the deputy director of the V Directorate at National. He is an avid mariner. I spent a lot of years with the Marines, that's why I say that. With the passion for professional development, his hobbies are sailing and flying. Paul has assumed the duties as the DSO MT and looks forward to developing a mentorship program that develops new members to the auxiliary. He wants to establish training programs that encourage the development in the various professional areas of public education, vessel exams, marine dealer visits, boat crew, and communications. Additionally, he wants to work with local folks to develop leadership development skills that improve the overall elected leaders of our district. He holds OXOP qualification along with his wings, RBS, and several other awards. He looks forward to an exciting 2021 and will be looking forward to recruiting a team of ADSOs that will improve our program moving forward. Next is DSO PB Publications. That's Sydney Hay, and she's over on the right-hand side, at least on my computer. In her real life, Cindy owns a public affairs consulting firm and represents clients in education, law enforcement, and mining. In addition, she is the president, CEO of a mining industry association. In the auxiliary, she is the outgoing flotilla commander of the Metro Phoenix Flotilla and served as its vice commander. She is a TCO and has been an instructor and VE. Currently, she is branch chief for editorial services in the B Directorate, where she is engaged in the production of the auxiliary magazine, RBS Job 1. One of the more interesting things about her is that she has extensive television and radio experience, having in the past been a radio talk show host, for many years and a regular on an ABC television show, but she won't tell us which one. And that's it for logistics. Thank you all.
Thank you, Randy. Okay. Next up, our last DDC for prevention is actually Chris Mathers. Chris could not be with us tonight, so Chris asked our current DDC prevention, Norm Bundick, to fill in for him and introduce the DSOs for 2021 under prevention, and say a few words about each one of them. Norm.
Thank you, Rick. I'd like to do mine a little different. I'd like to see the people actually talking. That way you'll get a face to a name. So what I'd like to do is have, when I call your name, if you would please, give your little talk, your bio. But for those of you that turned in a 3-page single-spaced one, let's hold it down to 2 minutes, okay? Okay, let's see, Rudy Lopez, SOPA.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm out of currently the Flotilla Commander, R62, and I'm up for re-election for 2021. I'm a retired police officer, spent 32 years with West Covina Police Department. The last 15 years, I was in charge of their media relations unit, so I was their public affairs guy, which led me to the interest of being part of the public affairs part of the auxiliary. I enrolled in 2018. Because of my experience, I was granted a waiver so I could be part of the publications division. So I became FSO-PB. Shortly thereafter, I was handed the PA, the FSO-PA position as well, and then took on the FSO communications. I felt that they were all linked and all tied, and it was probably beneficial that I had a hand in each one of those, which turned out to be right. Became the SOPB for the division in 2019, as well as the PA there. And of course, now I've been privileged to be able to take on the district role as well. So I think it's pretty pleasing. Currently hold a TCO position as well as an ATON. I attended the Oxlams, and I bring this up because I see Ann over there, who I remember dearly in the class in Hawaii. Loved it. Glad to see you, young lady. And so that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm a go-getter. I'm waiting to see what we can do to start working with this PA program. And I want to get off and running. So I thank you for a moment to just hear a little bit about me bragging about what I've done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rudy. We have Debbie Johnson, DSO MS. Debbie.
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me?
You're a little weak. Can you talk louder?
Let me see if I can raise the volume a bit. Is that any better?
Little bit, go higher.
Okay, let's see. Any better?
That's better.
Okay. I joined the auxiliary in 1996 because my husband nagged me for a year and said, oh, gee, you'd make a great instructor. So I became qualified as an instructor. I have since qualified as a boat crew, vessel examiner, so on and so forth. I concentrate primarily on marine safety and environmental protection, which I sort of found and fell into along about 2003 because it was interesting to me based on environmental science, but nobody else seemed to know much of anything about it. So I made some contacts in the national staff level so that I could get some training and some background to pursue an area that I have been passionately interested in. So I've been in the auxiliary now 24 years. I'm AUXOP qualified. I have worked at all staff levels in marine safety and environmental protection. I've earned both the auxiliary marine safety and admin management qualification and the marine environmental education specialist qualification. So I actively serve as a verifying officer and mentor our members and members all across the country for both of those qualifications. I've been a member of the national staff and am currently the division chief for communication and education in the Prevention Directorate, and I will continue in that office for 2021. I have great visions for what we can do in D11 South in marine safety and environmental protection. I came on board to provide equal opportunity for all members, whether they happen to live on the coast or inland. And I've been working with both of our ACS individuals and my ADSO staff to discover what it is that each sector needs in the way of our assistance and what training is available for our members. One of my goals and the goal of my team, which is all continuing for 2021, is to increase our membership in marine safety and environmental protection missions and qualifications. And I look forward to working with all of the division commanders and the rest of the district staff in 2021 to improve and grow the program. I will be sending all of the division commanders a summary of what the prevention department does on a national level so that you can better understand what missions we have and how we are involved and what opportunities it provides to our members. Thank you very much, Norm, and I have enjoyed working with you this year. Take care.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, if we could have DSO NS Ken Clements. Hello,
Can you hear
Ken.
me?
Yes, we got you now.
Okay, great. Ken Clements, and I am,
Yeah, your camera went off.
oops, sorry.
Here you are.
There, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm recovering, I don't like to say retired, but recovering law enforcement officer, 30 years, faithfully and honorably serving the cities of Buena Park, California, Brea, California, and Yorba Linda, California. I retired from a successful and rewarding career in law enforcement. Like I say, I'm recovering. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm recovering. So civilian employment, I was general manager for Vans Electronics prior to becoming, going through the police academy. Worked for the Bell system for a while as a PBX repairman. I'm an instructor, or I was an instructor with Bell Systems, AT&T. Senior technician at AT&T Information Systems. Recipient of the Bell System highest award, it's the Eagle Award for excellence in business. I'm an entrepreneurial, just by, I guess that's just part of my makeup of who I am. I founded and I'm the president and CEO of a company called KC Communications. And I founded this in 1986. And it's still going today after almost 34 years. And for that amount of time, we've helped thousands of businesses throughout California and the nation who relied on the experts at our company for a variety of telecommunications and data products and services. Still in business, it's a family operation, so it'll be in business for a while. Co-founder and partner of Floby International, it's a vacuum hair cutting system. And
it works.
Well, anyways, co-founder of Your Cancer Today. It's an international cable TV show and website. My business and professional career have been pursued concurrently while actively engaged as a law enforcement officer. Okay, so my Coast Guard auxiliary background, flotilla leadership positions, flotilla commander, 2 terms, flotilla vice commander, 2 terms, FSOPE, 3 terms, FSONS, 11 terms, FSOCM, 2 terms, FSOCS, 2 terms, FSOVE, 2 terms. I'm a radio operator, TCO. My handle is Dana Point Mobile 5. It's my radio station. I've been an incident commander for several flare shoots. Dana Point Harbor underwater cleanup, incident commander for tall ships, several terms, and incident commander, 3 terms on numerous committees, also numerous committees and flotilla VC, FCs, and various FSO appointments. division leadership, vice division commander, 2 terms, SONS 5 terms, ATON verifying officer 10 terms, served on numerous committees as Flotilla FC, VFC, various FSO appointments, served on several division and district leadership committees as VCDR and also during my SONS appointments. Currently, district leadership positions, ADSO CM TD, that's radio, for 3 terms, DART radio team, OxNet, call sign Lima Alpha, navigation systems team, instructor, ATON verifying officer, ADSO NS 2 terms, and currently DSO NS 1 term. Coast Guard qualifications, instructor, IT, incident command systems, ICS, 100, 200, 210, 700, 800. TCO, as I mentioned before, RBS program visitor, vessel examiner, ATON verifier, boat crew. Let's see, that's about it. I think I've mentioned everything else. And currently, well, I've always been a pilot since I was a teenager and sailor. And I'm a notary public, and I have a firearms training class that's been keeping me very, very busy with all the upheaval that's going on in the US right now. It'll probably all end on November 4th, though. That's about it. Proud to serve.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. Okay, next, DSO PE, Suzanne White. Suzanne, if you're on, if you would unmute. If she's not here,
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now. Yes.
All right.
Hence, there you are.
Anyway, thank you. I think Norm's a little taken back on how short and sweet mine is. It's pretty short, so I don't think I'll even last a minute. I'm Suzanne White. I am a native of Arizona, so I'm a honest to goodness desert rat. Did not get or own a boat until 1984. And was told to take a BS&S class by a colleague that taught school with me, who has since retired, and he was also an auxiliarist, and he said, you'll get a really good discount on your insurance, which most teachers, as we know, cannot afford that in a boat. So from there, I took the class and passed it, and at that point, he started talking to me about the Coast Guard Auxiliary. So he said, you like uniforms, you have I've had prior service as a reservist in the Air Force Reserve working on psychiatric wards. And they said that would be a really good job for me since I was a 7th grade teacher. I attended NAU and have degrees in PE and social studies. And I taught school for 18 years, and I am not only retired, but I too am a recovering public school teacher. Joined the auxiliary in 1995 and have been part of Flotilla 10-7 all of those years, actually. Let's see, what else? I've been in various leadership roles, including Division Commander, Division 10, served a whole lot of different staff and ADSO positions. My present status at this time is I have Coxswain and an AX2. And as far as what I'd like to do in 2021 is pretty much the same thing I was trying to accomplish in 2020. It was quite a learning experience for me because I've never tried to conduct Zoom meetings or Zoom lessons. So I've taken a lot of those thanks to the national level of PE. And I'm going to be offering that up again and trying to expand that throughout the district. COVID has, for the tragedy that's been, has offered us with the shutdown of the auxiliary and the Coast Guard as far as being active on scene, it's given us a good opportunity to learn how to carry on virtual programs, including PE, member training, so on and so forth. So I will be doing that. I'll be serving as not only DSO for PE, I'll also be the SOPE for Division 10. And I wish you all great health and good luck, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Next, we have DSOVE, Martin Buncher. Come on down.
Thank you, Norm. As Norm said, my name is Martin Buncher. I am an industrial and consumer psychologist, live in Rancho Santa Fe, California. Been operating my consulting practice since 1977 in the United States and about 65 other countries worldwide. About 20 years ago, because of a great high school football energy, I was not able to serve in the military, and I decided to find a way to give back, and I started to volunteer with various organizations. And as I played down my consulting practice in my latter years, I've been given more and more time to volunteer work. I'm active in law enforcement. I've been working in the past with the police and sheriff's department. Because of my interest as a wildlife conservationist, which is one of my first loves, I was on the Sheriff's 5 team. Also, I work actively with the National and the local Humane Society. I'm a reserve officer with California Department of Fish and Wildlife. I have a rescue on my 3.5 acres here for various exotic animals, which I work with the Department of Animal Services and the Humane Society, and rather than euthanize some of these beautiful creatures, they'll turn them over to me to rehab and maintain and use for educational purposes. I also have a canine search and rescue team. I have a couple of search and rescue dogs, and we avidly respond to Southern California call-outs from all those different agencies. I got my first love of boats when I was a young teenager, when my dad would take the family from Pittsburgh to Miami Beach, and we'd rent boats and strand them on the sandbars in Biscayne Bay, get out and have to push them out. They were outboards at that time. From then on, the family got involved in larger cruisers, 65-foot twin isomarine engine crafts, and I was very familiar with handling those, and I never lost my love of the water. And I got involved with Coast Guard in 2014. I immediately became involved in vessels examinations and crew based on my love of the ownership and my past ownership of small craft and fishing in and around San Diego. My first position in the flotilla as a staff officer was FSOVE. I served for a few years, and I graduated to SOVE and then ADSOVE, and last year DSOVE, where I will serve again this year. I also, for a while, was BCVTO because of my skill and expertise in marketing communications. However, that office will be discontinued, although I've offered to volunteer my skills as needed if they call upon me. Also, because of my love of children, mine have grown. I'm in charge of Coastie for our division here, and I have Coastie here at home and have used it frequently in many different venues over the past few years. I also serve occasionally as a mentor, and I like to take advantage of all the classes we're offered, and have taken the WOW class, and I became an ICS certified in that class, and looking forward to becoming ATON certified. Got my recent dock walker certification, and really want to become more heavily involved than I have been, and looking forward to continuing my work as a national staff. I also will continue to do a lot of my wildlife conservation work. A couple of weeks, I'm going back to the Socorro Islands and 150 miles off the coast of Cabo San Lucas, where last year we tagged manta rays and counted different species of sharks. And this year we're going to do some underwater ultrasound of pregnant female manta rays. Very little known about manta rays. We suspect they may be very close in intelligence to dolphins, but I like to mix the water in my life any way, shape I can. So I'm an avid scuba diver as well as a general conservationist. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Appreciate that. Next, DSOAS, That's Ox Scout Dale Zimmerman.
Good evening, everybody. Been involved or had a boat of some kind since I built my first one in 9th grade shop class almost 50 years ago. So I'm currently on my 5th boat. I've been previously working in the ice skating rink business for about 24 years, and moved to California way back in 1979 and went downhill from there. No, not really. It's been great. Joined the auxiliary in 96. I've got I'm a coxswain, QE, Hawks SC&E, train the trainer, which did that, one of the early classes of that. Of course, nobody's been taking that one since, I don't think. But anyway, I've held almost all elected office positions except DCOS and DCO. Someday, maybe. Held numerous staff positions, FSO PE initially, then FSO Ops for too many years, and SO Ops and DSO Ops. I was DSO PE, MT, different times. What else? Too much else. That's enough.
All right, thank you, Dale. Thank you, Dale. Next, last but not least, DSO Ox Load X. I don't know. How do you say that, Randy? Randy Wesson. Randy, you're muted.
Hi, I'm back. Thank you. It's Ox LWO, which stands for Life Jacket Wear Observation Team. What we do, we've been doing it for, this is the 6th year. We started doing it 6 years ago. Before that, a company was doing it, doing all of these observations. And what we do is we go out to the same site every year, do observations of the boaters' habits of boating, you know, whether they're wearing a life jacket, what kind, that sort of thing. Take all this data down, and it gets sent to a company that analyzes it, and then they write a report on it, or the Coast Guard writes a report on it and sends it to regulators in each state and to Congress. And that's what we've been doing. We're going to continue to do that, but we're starting a new program where we're going to go to new sites and collect a bit less data that isn't needed for what we want to do. And we will look for problem areas at various sites like the inland lakes and what have you, whatever we come across, you know. And if people are doing things not related to wearing life jackets, but they're, you know, doing other silly things or irresponsible things, then if it's something that we can eliminate by coming up with a solution or some form of prevention, then we'll forward that on and work with the agencies that govern those areas. So that's the new operation that we're going to be taking on. It's most of you haven't, sorry, most of you haven't heard about the program. Up until this past year, we weren't taking volunteers because we couldn't use them. we have to go through a training, and we have to go to the same lake or same site every year. Nobody was leaving. We've had very little turnover in people working in the program. But now that we're starting this new program, we're going to start looking for volunteers, people that are interested in doing what I described. And so we will have take on a few people, and this is nationwide, where it's going to get bigger and bigger, cover more areas, and that's what it is.
Okay. Thank you, Randy. Just make a quick comment. I know you said you served in the Marines, and therefore you created the word Mariner. So I served in the Navy, and I'm going to call it Navier.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
right.
in the Navy.
Okay. And next, last but not least, we have our DSOPV, Justin Peck. Justin.
Thank you. My name is Justin Peck. I'll be the DSO PV this year. I'm currently serving as the Division Chief of Communications for the V Directorate. Also, I'm a branch assistant in the B Directorate for Paddlecraft Liaison for the Pacific area. Currently serving as the Vice Flotilla Commander for Flotilla 11-7, along with several FSO positions. Next year, I'll be the Flotilla Commander, and then also I'll be serving as SOHR for Division 11 as well. A little bit about my history. I'm a prior service combat medic, multiple tours in Iraq until the enemy got me, so I'm out now. And professionally, I am a human resource business partner with Ascenis Human Capital Management, and I'm based out of I'm out of Corona, California, and yeah, just look forward to getting more participation up in our PV mission and getting more people involved in RBS outreach overall. So look forward to it.
Thank you, Justin. Rick, that is our prevention team for 2021.
Norm, thank you very much for stepping in for Chris. All DSOs that are present, welcome to your positions if you're new. Welcome back to those of you who are DSOs currently. Somebody who really didn't introduce themselves tonight was me. Just very quickly, a little bit about me. I'm recently retired from education, 40 years with the same employer. I didn't teach, I worked on the business side. I've been in the auxiliary for 13 years, have served as Vice Flotilla Commander, Vice Division Commander, both in Division 5 and Division 4, and DCAP, LALB South for 2 years, and LALB North currently. Not really sure that's been done before. DCAPs are only allowed 2 years, 2 1-year terms, and then we're done in the same district. So I want to thank Commodore Harshfield for that. Obviously, currently been elected to Chief of Staff for next year. And I am looking forward to working with all of you. And that all being said, I think we're going to take about a 5-minute break and be back at 19:05 and for a short presentation on DSOs and leadership. 5 minutes, folks. Okay, is everybody back? Well, let's see if they're back. All right, Charlie, you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yes, please continue.
Okay. All right, folks. What I have now is hopefully about a 30-minute PowerPoint presentation. Division commanders and vice division commanders, some of these slides may look familiar. Please bear with me. I think this is important information that our DSOs need to see. So here we go. All right, can everybody see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Just nod your heads. Okay, so even though it says Elected Leadership Academy, this is also for the DSOs. We talked about some of this last week. What I have in the slides, come on, slides. I have a list of all of the DDCs and DSO staffs. I did, however, want the DDCs to introduce their staffs and have them say a few words. Thanks again, folks. Oh, I'm sorry. This is logistics, Randy Wesson, DDC. Chris Mathers, who is not here tonight, DDC of prevention. And Chris Milano, DDC response. And as you can see, we are still in search of a DSO CM, and we're in the process. All right. Well, just because you're an appointed staff officer does not mean that you're not a leader, because you are, and you need to know where you're going. So if you don't know where you're going, any road you take will get you there. By the way, folks, if you have any questions, please hit your space bar, ask your question. All right. So now you're the DSO. You need to have a plan of what you're going to be doing this year, what your goals are. It will help you and your ADSOs get your message across, get things done for the district, and you're there to support the divisions. Okay, so have your plan. Know that your plan needs to be in conjunction with the district operations plan. So here are the guiding documents that we're going to use, or you should be using, for your plan. Auxiliary manual, that's where everything is at. If you don't know, look there first, please, before you start making phone calls. It's over 750 pages long. I'm sure you all know that. Don't ever keep a printed copy of it because it changes. Keep a PDF on your computer. It's quick, it's easy, and it has a word search. Most PDF programs have a word search, and you can go through and find what you need. Standing rules. These are mostly pertain to flotillas, divisions, district, how those areas are run. But there may be times where something you're looking for can be in there. The strategic plan. We have a new National Commodore, and he will be making adjustments to the strategic plan, and it'll be his strategic plan. Every 2 years it gets updated, like I said, by the National Commodore. The operational plan for District 11 South will be put together by our Commodore-elect, Charlie Geiger. He has to wait and see what the National Commodore strategic plan is going to be. And then he will update it, and that will be our operational plan for the next 2 years. And as you can see, he'll update it every 2 years, has to support the strategic plan, and we will have input from the SWOT analysis. So hopefully, after the district did its SWOT analysis where all the division commanders were at, last year in September, I believe. I hope each division has already done this, and it will help you in making your plans for the next year. Any questions so far?
Yes, DCOS elect.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know if we'll have input from the 2 sectors in terms of gap analysis information that we can use to create our 2021 goals and plans.
At this point, I'm not sure if we'll get that. I'll certainly ask for it, and if I can get it, I will pass it along.
John Ross, can you comment on that, John?
I was just clicking my mic open, if I might. Rick, thank you for the question too. As the ASC, we did the gap analysis for 2019. To my knowledge, there's no gap analysis being prepared for 2020. We might get something in 2021, but both of us ASC, San Diego and myself, are going to be working on the old gap analysis from last year, and we're going to be sharing that some of that after the first of the year. I hope that answers your question.
I think that does, John. Thank you very much. Okay, as you can see, it should be up on your screen now. This is what the operational plan hopefully will look like currently. Again, Commodore-elect Geiger is working on this, and as soon as he gets it done, he will make it available to everybody in our district. Some of the things the operational plan will have will be an introduction and an overview, of course, a summary. It will have the auxiliary policy statement. It'll have the commandant's guiding principles, a mission and vision statement, our district goals and priorities, and our district Commodore's watchwords, and his leadership philosophy. I've been working with their Commodore-elect now for pretty intensely since the election, and we're working very hard on this, or I know he is. I assist him whenever I can and wherever I can. Any questions so far on the operational plan? All right. Ready, relevant, responsive. These are the guiding principles from our commandant, Admiral Schultz, out in Washington. These have been around a while, so these are here for your information. Our current Commodore, Larry King, and his watchwords. Larry King's term will end at the end of this month. His watchwords are relevance, professionalism, and flexibility. Commodore Harshfield's watchwords, and Commodore Harshfield's term will end at the end of December. I'm sure he has a calendar and is marking off the days. And I'm sure you've seen his watchwords: always forward, never back. And then Commodore-elect Geiger's watchwords: communicate, commit, and change. I like these watchwords. I liked all of them, but I really like Commodore-elect Geiger's watchwords, because we all need to communicate up and down the chain of leadership. It will be your job as a DSO to communicate any pass downs that you receive from national, from my office to the DDCs, down to you, down to the divisions. I'm asking that all of you commit to the jobs that you've been appointed to and have agreed to be appointed to. In my mind, there's nothing worse than somebody who says, yes, I'll do it, and we never hear from them again. Okay? So please, please, please commit to what you say you're going to do. And then change. You'll know or notice that there will be some change in D11 South this next coming year. There have been some changes in the last couple of years. So know that it's coming. Change is difficult for most people. We understand that. When change comes along, talk to your folks, empower them with the change so they will accept it and move forward with it. Give them encouragement. And hopefully the change won't be so painful to them that they just won't do it. So communicate, commit, and change. All right, here's some of the definitions that we're using for communicate. You need to be an active listener. Listen to what the SOs and your ADSOs are saying and respond to their concerns. Don't solve their problems. Encourage them to solve their own problems, because if you keep solving all their problems, then they're not doing their job. They need to solve their problems at the division level. They're a lot closer to what's going on and any issues that are there at the division and the flotilla level. They're the ones who know best of what's going on and probably how to solve the problem. Provide your guidance and provide resources. Stay in touch with your ADSOs. I'm the DSO MT currently this year, and that was something I could have done a lot better. So stay in touch with them. Don't be afraid to have a Zoom meeting with them once a month, every other month, once a week, if that's what you think you need to do. Meetings, reports, leadership training, get in their inbox, meaning don't be afraid to send them emails. Stay in touch with them. Know what's going on. Keep me informed, or at least through your DDCs. If you need to come to me direct, you can, but please go to your DDCs. Tell me the good, tell me the bad. I don't want to be surprised. Don't want to be caught off guard. Don't want to be blindsided. So keep your DDC informed, they will keep me informed, and I will keep the Commodore informed. Commit. We all took the oath pledging our commitment and support to the Coast Guard Auxiliary, its purposes, and to faithfully abide by the policies established by the Commandant. I took that oath. I'm gonna take it again. Everybody on the elected side will take that, and you as appointed leaders also take that same oath. These additional pledges and oaths, we're being held to a higher standard, and know that our actions affect others in this district, in the divisions, in the flotillas. I expect this of myself and all other members in the district to live to these standards. I'm not going to ask no more than for you to do what you say and do, do what you say you will do, okay? Do what you say you will do. Don't be afraid to expect the same thing from your ADSOs and your SOs. And this is what the foundation of integrity is. Any questions so far? Change. You all know the world is constantly changing. And there are changes that need to take place for the needs of our members, the boating public, and the Coast Guard. You as leaders in the auxiliary, we need to change as well to address any changing needs that are taking place. The auxiliary of the future is not the auxiliary of the past. How many times have you heard somebody say, well, we used to do it, 25 years ago, we used to do it that way. That's the last thing that I want to hear, is because it's not 25 years ago, it's today, and things are done differently. Like I said, change is uncomfortable. It's scary for some, and many people will resist change. We know it's much easier to behave the same way we have in the past. That's something that we know. We've done it for a long time. Most people are slow to change, so we need to lead and interact with those others who are slow to change and encourage them to make the change. Managing change is going to be an integral part of any leadership workshop that you take during the year. I know I have taken several leadership programs in the auxiliary, and managing change is a big part of it. There is a workshop called Choices, Chances, and Changes that is under development, and hopefully will be available sometime early next year. The first responsibility of a leader is to develop a person to replace them. A leader should identify 4 prospects. Identify 4 because on average, 1 will refuse, 1 will disappoint, 1 will move, and 1 will accept. As elected leaders, one of the things that we do or are asked to do is to develop a succession plan. Well, you know what? This goes for also appointed leaders, DSOs, SOs. You need to work with your ADSOs to prepare them and get them ready to move up and take your place at some point. Excuse me. So keep that in mind as the year goes on. Okay, reports. Probably one of the most important things and the things you may dread the most during the year. The DNACO's reports to the NACO 15th day of the quarter. That's a quarterly report that has to be done. And you can see the dates there: January 15, April 15, July 15, and October 15. So they'll be getting a report here in the next few days. The Commodore's report to the DNACO, first week of the quarter. Okay, so 4 times a year he has to do that. Chief of Staff to the Commodore, first day of the quarter. So I will be doing 4 reports that I submit to the Commodore. DSOs to the DDCs, 25th of each month. DDCs, you and I will all talk and discuss when I need your reports. ADSOs to the DSOs. DSOs, you can make that determination and talk to your ADSOs. Keep in mind, all of this is subject to change. Any questions about reports?
Yes, Rick, will we be using the same district form that's electronically submitted that we have used this year?
Yes, that makes it easy for everyone. It's on the district's website, and I like it. It's pretty straightforward and is really easy to use. So if anybody has any questions about that report, I'm sure Commodore Harshfield can talk about that at a later date, or maybe one-on-one with somebody if they've never done it before. He was the one who put that together and put that up on the district website for us. It's a nice format, pretty easy to fill out. So yeah, same format. Okay, the D11S website, as you can see, has been completely updated. I will have a slide of that here in just a second. They're still wrapping up some of the final touches. It will be complete by the end of the year. The DSO CS for next year is Commodore Harshfield. So he and Chuck Hutchings have put a lot of work into this. I think it looks better than the WOW website that we had in the past. And you can get to this website by typing in d11s.net, d11s.org. You know, however you need to get in there. Visit it frequently, learn how to navigate it. It was created for you, for all of us. So if there's anything that you see on it that maybe needs to be adjusted or maybe can be changed to make it better, contact Commodore Harshfield or Chuck Hutchings. I'd go to Commodore Harshfield first, and he can see about maybe making those changes if it's practical. And again, this says encourage the FCs to use it. Encourage the SOs to use it. It's an easy website to use. This is kind of what it looks like. OXOP here on it is new. It's a form to fill out. OX publications, reports, Commodore Harshfield, remind me what tab is the, oh, here it is, eForms reports. That's where you'll go for your monthly reports. This is the certificate that Commodore-elect Geiger was talking about. Looks really nice. I think everybody will appreciate getting this, suitable for framing if that's what you'd like to do. You will also be getting a copy of your job description as a DSO, what will be expected of you. Okay, I'm going to talk about emails here for just a couple of minutes. We talked about this last week, so division commanders, bear with me. Your emails are going to be used for communication amongst your ADSOs and the SOs. The purpose mainly is going to be for pass downs. Get the information that you get from me or your DDC and get it down to the division level so it'll make its way down to the flotillas. Format. First of all, you need to know who you're going to send it to. Okay. Next, who are you going to CC? And that doesn't mean you have to CC anybody. But if you're going to CC somebody, you make sure you get it in the right area. Because when you send that email on a to somebody, they're going to be, they'll expect to send you a reply most of the time. CC, don't send a reply. It's just for information. And then BCC, please don't do that. That makes it look like you're hiding something. We want as much transparency as we can possibly have. Next, subject line, be specific. Let your folks know what they're getting. Make sure that your message is about the subject that you put in the subject line. Make sure if you have any attachments, you put them there. There are some email platforms that if you talk about an attachment in the body of the email, before you send it, or if you click send, it's going to ask you if you want to put an attachment. And then the last thing is signature. This is important. Here's a signature block. This happens to be mine. And this is what it currently looks like. Has my name, my position, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, District 11 Southern Region. I have my phone number and my email address. Okay. So if any DSO or DSO member waiting to be a DSO starting January 1, if I send an email to you, this is what my signature block is going to look like. This is the correct format. This signature block here, not correct. It's not correct because it has 3 different jobs. So if I send this, I mean, do they really know what job I'm doing to send the email? So pick the job that you're doing, like DCAP. All the emails that I send to my division commanders up in LA North have my DCAP LALB North. And then the DSO MT and the FSOIS aren't seen. So don't list all your stuff on there. Don't list any personal achievements on there. This is strictly auxiliary. Okay? We don't care if you've completed 14 different ICS programs. This is what your job title is about. So if you're the DSO MT, that's what it should be. That's what it should read. And DCAP and FSOIS shouldn't be there. Any questions about that? Okay, I've harped on this stuff long enough. Any questions about anything that I've talked about?
My signature, Rick, has a paragraph about the confidentiality of the material and if it was sent or received in error.
That's fine.
Got it.
That's fine. You can do that. I have that on mine. That's pretty much, I don't necessarily call it a part of the signature. That's pretty much a disclaimer saying that if you got this by mistake, delete it. So, any other questions, folks?
Rick, could you back up to the slide showing where we would, because I had a lot of trouble with that, putting in our reports.
Sure.
If you just want to back that up real quick, then I'll
No,
figure it out.
Wonderful. Okay.
E-forms.
E-forms. Yes, ma'am. E-forms.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? All right.
This is Dave
Well,
Brown. I did email you, but I'll bring it up anyhow. I had some questions from some up and coming flotilla leaders. They were asking about the Flotilla Elected Leadership Academy. Do we have any plans for that for next year?
well, flotilla elected leadership academies are put on by the division, as I believe you are aware of.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to let Commodore-elect Geiger address this because he's the one who arranged for the DELA. Commodore Geiger, would you like to comment?
Sure. Could you close your PowerPoint, Rick?
Yes.
Okay. Frame the question again.
Some of the people we have coming up at the flotilla level into elected positions, we're asking about when we might be able to put on another flotilla elected leadership academy.
Once we finish the DELA, which is going to be next week, you'll be getting some more pass downs next week, especially from Commodore Johnson and Leslie Pelosi. Once you have all that information, you can go ahead and set up your feelers. I'd like to see all the feelers done before the end of November, so that all of the flotilla officers can start picking their staff.
Okay, great.
Commodore Geiger, just a clarification. This is a Zoom FELA meeting, just as we're doing the DELAs, correct?
The feelers are totally up to the division commanders how they want to do it. I would suggest the Zoom. If somebody prefers another virtual platform, that's fine as well.
All right.
Comment?
Go ahead, Cindy.
Hi. Each of the introductions were so interesting. And we have a feature that is new on the district newsletter. And so it's why I joined the auxiliary. Well, all of those things about your background and all, I was just enraptured by them. So any and all of you that would just email me that paragraph that you wrote for this meeting, and maybe if you want to add in how that relates to why you joined the auxiliary, I would love those little paragraphs to put in the newsletter. I'm really struggling to get enough content, and that would be great content. So please, 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 please send those to me with a little extra little thing about how this relates to why you joined the auxiliary. Is that okay, please?
No, nobody seemed bashful, Sydney, so I think you can expect to get some.
Yay, I want to see them.
Okay, if we have nothing further, I've got nothing further. I'll let you folks get back to your football game.
Wait 1 minute, please. We are having a quiz about the Coast Guard's definition of leadership. Remember, if you weren't here last week, we asked if you know it. Now, if you think you know it, please raise your hand. Coast Guard's simple definition of leadership. Charlie Geiger knows it. Does anybody else? Well, I guess we'll oh, Mike Bozarth. Okay, Boz. Well, Charlie, how about if we let Boz attempt it?
He's got it.
What is it?
The U.S. Coast Guard definition of leadership is you influencing others to achieve a goal.